Thank you for joining us again with News Humor. Last time we were talking about governmental worship, we were talking about how the Capitol was designed after the Pantheon in Rome, and how a Pantheon is a temple to Jupiter, and in the Capitol building, George Washington replaces the god Jupiter from the Roman gods, and Washington is surrounded by 6 Roman gods. The first one, the god of war, being armed freedom, also known as Columbia or Libertas. The second one, science, would be known as Minerva. The third one, marine, would be known as Neptune and Venus. Commerce is known as Mercury, or would have also been known as Hermes in the Greek mythology. The fifth one is mechanics, Vulcan. The god Vulcan would be for mechanics. And the last one would have been agriculture, Circes. After we talked about the gods that surrounded George Washington, we also went into some of the symbolism showing how Libertas, the god Libertas, is connected to the god of freedom and Columbia. And now, with that being said, let's continue our presentation. Now, Libertas is also an ancient Roman goddess of liberty, okay? War and the slaves. Check this out, because liberty is on the faces of their coin, it was on the faces of a lot of our coins until the 20th century. Now we have presidents, okay? We have dead presidents. We have presidents, they call them the founding fathers, right? Founding fathers. So, liberty, libertas, coinage, money, usage. Also equated with slavery and freedom, known as the Liberty Cap. You've seen those Jews, you've seen the monks in old movies, shows. I know that they were wearing them in one of my favorite depictions of medieval times, which is Pillars of the Earth. But they have a cap of felt right here on their head to show that they are free people, okay? That they are free people. And then they're granted libertas, okay, or liberty. Now, to be granted liberty, you had to go before a magistrate. And remember what I was talking about, liberty of war and peace? So, right here it talks about this quote in Latin means a call upon the cap, okay? So they would call slaves to war in order for them to earn their cap of freedom or of liberty. All right, so this is why America is always fighting. We're fighting democracy all around the world. We're trying to bring them liberty. We're bringing them the Roman gods. We're liberating them, right? And that's exactly what Romans thought when they were conquering the world, the known world back in Roman times, is they thought, hey, we're bringing all these savages, all these other cultures in the world, we're bringing these savages liberty. We are civilizing them. Civilis, okay? So just think about that. When we're here at Architects of the Capitol, we have 3 main Roman gods and statues that are put up around and on top of the Capitol, because the Capitol is underneath the Roman god of freedom, okay? Now, the other 2 gods that we have are the god of war and the god of peace, all right? So this is really interesting because we go to war to keep the peace, all right? That's what we've been doing. We got to go get them before they come and get us. Doesn't make any sense to me, but to the Roman gods, I'm sure it makes a whole lot of sense. Now, it's getting hot. It's getting hot. All right. So, we have 3 main gods. Freedom, war, liberty. Now, of course, the god of war is Mars. We know this. That's Thor's day, Thursday, right? So, the god of liberty, Statue of Liberty, Statue of Freedom. Statue of Freedom's always ready to fight, to defend liberty, but whose liberty are we really defending? Because it's not the people's, right? Because if it were the people's liberty, then they wouldn't have to go to war. Now remember, with the goddess Libertas, only the slaves went to war. Only the slaves went to war. The normal people didn't go to war. Okay? The free man, he didn't go to war. Now, this is where the danger comes in. Because, what's the first of the 10 commandments? Thou shalt not have any other gods before me. Before God himself. Now, what do you think this is? What do you think this is? And you don't believe that this is some form of worship? How come almost every single state constitution says they derive their power from you? If this isn't some form of worship, then why do they have to get power from you? Why do they have to get power from you? Because you have to believe in them, because it's government. It's government, okay? It's not government, it's government, because govern is an order to things. Ment is mental, okay? Think about this when you're thinking about governmental. Governmental power. Think about it. Mental, judgmental, monumental, sentimental, developmental, temperamental, experimental, rudimental. All of these mental, they have to do with the mind. Okay? Because just like the government says, it doesn't have any power unless you believe in it. Unless you give it power. Alright. I, personally, am not a professing Christian. Okay? I'm going to take this off because, like I said, it's getting hot in here. Maybe the devil wishes for me to quit speaking, so he's heating me up from the inside. I don't know. I'm not a professing Christian. Although, I don't really argue about God's existence because to me it's not a belief, it's a knowledge. And I know that God exists because he talks to me. And I'm not saying that he comes down, he sits right next to me, and he's like, yo, John, you gotta go do this, you gotta go do that. I'm saying God talks to me through my heart, letting me know the difference between right and wrong. Telling me the right things to do and what the wrong things are to do. Because evil will prevail if good man fails to act. I'm just here to act for my Father, the man upstairs. Whatever you wish to call him, call it. I don't care. I like to call him the man. Now, the reason I know that the man's talking to me and not someone else, because typically when he tells me to do things, I don't wanna. They're not comfortable for me. I don't take comfort in the things that man asked me to do. And if you go back and you read through the Bible, you read through the Quran, you read through the Torah, I don't think God ever really asked people to do things that they want to do. I mean, it's like, hey, Abraham, go up this mountain and kill your son. Oh, man, do I gotta? Hey, Noah, go over here, build a boat for 600 years. There's a flood coming. For real, man, I was gonna go to the beach today. Me and my wives and my 7 children, we were just gonna be chilling. But I gotta go build a boat. The man told me to. Hey, Moses, go up to the Pharaoh, completely disrespect him and tell him you're gonna walk my people out of Egypt. You're gonna walk them out of Egypt with or without his permission. For real? I had a pretty cushy life. You know, the Egyptians were taking care of me. I wasn't one of those slaves. I wasn't a slave. But God, you tell me I gotta go do it. I guess I gotta go do it. Hey, son, you gotta do something for me. I feel horrible for asking you. You gotta let these Romans, you gotta let them nail you up to a cross. Dad, that sounds like it's gonna hurt. Are you sure I gotta do this? If you're sure I gotta do this, if you can find one place in the Bible where God tells someone to go do something that they already want to do, I would really like to see it. I would like to see that verse. I'd like to see that spot. Anyways, thanks for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed this. If you wish for the one true creator, to take control of things, let him take control of your heart. And if he's got control of your heart and you see this, you feel this message, it is your duty to pass it on. It is your duty to like, share, subscribe, comment, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another video. And comment, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Do you think government is a house of worship? You think that all of this is just nonsense? Do you think that the people who built this country just weren't paying attention to the Roman symbolisms that they put all over the place? You know, what do you think? Because they write laws up in that Capitol building that they call statutes. And statutes and statues come from the exact same word in Latin, statua. So let me know what you think. We all know what happened on Monday, June 1st, where Trump tear-gassed a bunch of peaceful protesters to clear his way to go over to a church. He did not tell anybody that he was going to this church. He did not inform anyone. And I just wish to read to you what church means from a Black's Law Dictionary. The religious society founded and established by Jesus Christ to receive, preserve, and propagate his doctrines and ordinances. Goes on to say, community of Christians united under one form of government by the profession of the same faith and the observance of the same rituals and ceremonies. Now, that's interesting because even the law observes the church as a separate form of government, as a sovereign form of government from the government which they operate. Think about that. Think about the symbolism behind that. Because Trump basically declared himself president of law and order, and I'm guessing the one true beautiful law that he's talking about is his law. And that's just a presumption on my part. He basically shot at a congregation of people who were peacefully assembling at a church and invaded a sovereign government. Now, that's just my take on it. You might have a different opinion. I know that there are a lot of church leaders out there praising what Trump did. But I can guarantee you, if Trump showed up with the military at the doorsteps of their church and started shooting tear gas at a congregation in their home, they probably wouldn't feel the same way.
So I was already stunned and shocked and deeply, deeply offended that they had taken what had become holy ground and had been holy ground for 200 years and literally desecrated it, turned it into not a metaphorical battleground, but a literal battleground with those officers and those heavily armed, and just the aggression and the hostility and the innocent protesters.
I am your president of law and order and an ally of all peaceful protesters. The destruction of innocent life and the spilling of innocent blood is an offense to humanity and a crime against God. One law and order, and that is what it is. One law. We have one beautiful law. And once that is restored and fully restored,
well, Jesus was very clear that God is far less interested in the show of our prayers than God is in the ethical way that we live our lives and how we treat our fellow human beings created in God's image. And so that was a sharp rebuke to all of us, people like me in leadership who lead prayers, to anyone with privilege and authority, anyone who would dare to substitute the trappings of religion for the actual practice of it.
Alright, on the real, here's what's up. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's a business practice. Legislatures go up to the Capitol building, and they take the statue, the word statue, they just add that one little symbol that they hung Jesus up on, a cross. And just add one cross to that word, it's a statue that they tell you is law. Real law is written on your heart. The true law of God, do no harm. That's it. It's not that hard, and it's just that simple. But for some reason, our society today has become real complex. Okay? Now, if you don't believe this, if you don't believe that they go to the Capitol building to conspire on writing law and governing the public, tell me what their business is. If their business is not to conspire on how to govern you, let me know what you believe their business is. Because it's that simple. Any way you wish to break it down, you got a bunch of people getting together, talking with each other about how do we control other people. And that's what it's all about. Sorry, it's coming at the end. God just put it on my heart, so I had to do it. Hope you like the shirt. Peace.